Hello my fellow paint monsters, how are you today? I'm Aga and this is Hungry for Paint, a channel about handmade watercolors. Today I'll be reviewing paints by Stoneworks Mill, based in Maryland in the USA. The packaging is really thoughtful and very beautiful. There's a little bag, here a little thank you card, see, with a stamp. I love it, I just love the design. I got the smallest size they offer, the Gallivante palette, and here the Great Outdoors palette is the one I got. And they have these little magnets at the bottom with the name written out. I also got this sample of Kingfisher. Stoneworks Mill is a small family business run by Kelly and James. It's pretty unique as Kelly and James not only make paint but also forage for rocks, for minerals that they make their paints from. They actually gather source material by hand, often from their very own land. They find it, they dig it up, then they bring it to their workshop where they grind it. So they make their own pigments from which they make their paints. So they do everything on their own, from the stage of a rock to the stage of a filled half pan that you get. I think this is pretty amazing. If you visit Stoneworks Mill on Instagram, you can see a lot of the process. You can see the rocks, the raw materials out of which the paints are made. Now regarding colors, some of these are pretty special and pretty unique. Some of them have a slight shimmer, but even though I don't normally like shimmery paints, I don't mind what's happening here at all. And even though these are slightly shimmery, I think these are still very well suited for painting nature. These re-wet very well. Perhaps re-violet is a little bit more difficult than other colors to re-wet, and the browns a little bit, but that's to be expected. Brown paints are usually more difficult to re-wet, but it's enough to spritz these with water before you start painting and everything's going to be fine. The paints by Stoneworks Mill can either be purchased in sets or in single pans. They offer a variety of metal pans. So these are not your standard plastic half pans, but they are equivalents. There are different palettes to choose from, and Stoneworks Mill release new palettes seasonally, and these go pretty fast. So if you'd like to get some, you better watch them on Instagram, because when there's going to be an update, the paints aren't going to last very long, especially the sets. The ones that have a shimmer are Embers, Axis, Strata and Ursa. So here's Embers. Embers is pretty opaque, and I love how it shifts from a deep brown to orangey brick tones. Here's Axis. Here's Strata. The shimmer is barely visible, but it's there. And Ursa. It's very dark, very intense. Overall, these are pretty opaque, most of them. Nimbus is very dark and incredibly pigmented. You can't really even make out the stamp from under the paint. Artemis is very interesting. It's a sort of a greyish buff titanium, but it's not very opaque, and it's got these tiny dark particles that make it really interesting. I really like the textures it creates. In the browns, the Strata, Ursa, there's a lot of granulation going on. I love how Ursa behaves on paper. And Kingfisher is not really my kind of green, but it's very creamy, very nice, it's very easy to work with, and it creates very nice textures as well. You can achieve a pretty wide range of colour with it. The paints by Stoneworks Mill are currently a favourite among many artists on Instagram, and I can understand very well why that is. I think these are very high quality. Overall, I can recommend these with a clean conscience. Okay, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. I hope this video was useful to you. Next week you can expect a mixing and experimenting video using paints from Stoneworks Mill, so stay tuned. Visit Hungry for Paint on Instagram for some sneak peeks, and you can also read a text review of these paints on Hungry for Paint blog. You can find all the links in the description of this video. If you want to help me make more videos and review more paints, consider supporting Hungry for Paint on Ko-fi. Alright folks, I hope to see you next week. Have a great day. Bye!